Town Branch Distillery right here in Lexington, Kentucky, and this is Mark Kaufman, Master Distiller. Now, I was recently at an event and they were sampling your bourbon, and I decided we need to come talk to you guys, and you're gracious enough to talk with us today. Tell me, if you will, the history and how this started right here in Lexington, and if folks want to come visit, how they can do that. Let's start, though. How did we get started right here?
Okay, well, we got started distilling in 2008, but going a little bit further on to the history, Alltech purchased the Lexington Brewing Company in 1999. Yeah, well, we didn't think about making beer at the time. We always needed vessels for something, so we bought the vessels. We leased the building because we have a place to store it. One thing led to another, and we said, we got the vessels, we got the knowledge, let's make some beer. So in 2000, we started making Kentucky Ale. So one thing led to another. We started making beer, and Pearse Lyons, the owner of the company, says, you know, I've always wanted to have a distillery. So we bought some stills from Scotland, shipped them over here and installed them.
Hey, those are impressive, by the way.
Very nice, very nice.
We'll talk about those in a minute, but those are very impressive.
Yeah. So we installed those, and we were producing whiskey in September 1st of 2008. So one thing led to another. Our beer business has been very successful. We needed more space, so we decided let's build a distillery, a little bit more distinctive, a little separate from the brewery, give some more space at the brewery. So we built what you see now is Town Branch Distillery. So we put the stills in here. We still support the distillery aspects, all the whiskey production from the brew house, from the brewery still. So they're still very closely related.
Now let's talk about Town Branch. Where'd the name come from?
Lexington is the largest city in North America not on navigable water. And the only waterway that comes through Lexington is called the Town Branch. And over the years, Lexington had grown and overbuilt over the top of Town Branch, and you really don't notice that there's a waterway goes through Lexington. And you really don't see it till you go to the western portion of the Rupp Arena parking lot where it's exposed to the sun again. So we wanted to bring back the Town Branch, bring back its legacy and what Lexington got founded on.
Now, let's talk about things as we see them. What do we see right here? We see obviously some barrels. What's going on back here?
All these barrels here are ready to be filled with new bourbon that we're producing off our stills. So they're prepared. Here within the next few hours, they'll start filling some more barrels and send them off for aging, and hopefully in another 5, 6, 7 years, we'll be tasting some good Kentucky Town Branch bourbon.
How's this whole process start? You're making some bourbon. How do you start?
Okay, we start the process over in the brew house. We mill the malt. We have the corn there. It's gelatinized corn. So everything goes together into the lauter tongue. And once it's in the lauter tongue, we hit it with different temperatures to activate enzymes in the process. So we're releasing the enzymes, we're releasing the starches, is converting into sugar, and at that point there, we chill the material down, the wort at that point, and we'll put yeast with it once temperature's set. Then that'll transfer into one of our open-top fermenters that you see in the distillery room. So it'll go in that process in the open-top fermenter. You'll see the fermentation going on. You see the foam coming off the top. You can smell it. You can smell the CO2 coming off of it. So after about 60, 65 hours, we're ready at that point to take that process into the wash still and start the distillation process.
All right, now, obviously, I've seen a whole lot of people, just one group after another. And for those who don't know about your operation here, how would you take a tour?
Oh, well, we're open 7 days a week. We have tours Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then Sundays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we are part of the Bourbon Trail. So, you know, we're either start or stop in Lexington, which is very nice because we're the only distillery in the metropolitan areas right now. But it's a great opportunity. Someone get out, spend an hour, take a tour, try a sample of the spirits. Everyone gets a chance to see something more unique because we have a brewery and distillery, so it's a combination tour.
All right, this is an impressive room. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. You got the monster stills over here from Scotland. We have these huge cypress tanks, which are?
They're all open-top fermenters. And this, once we make up our batch from the brew house, we'll transport it in here. It's already got yeast injected into it, so we'll do the fermentation process here for about 65 hours.
Right here?
Right here, right in this room.
So at times, do you have both of them going?
Yeah, there's times that we have both of them going. Right now, we have this one just filled up just recently. It's just kicking into the fermentation stage. The other one we just finished off this morning, and we had cleaned that up. And what's unique about cypress wood is it holds water great as long as you keep it wet. So once we get done with the cleaning cycle, we don't have another batch ready to go in immediately. We fill it up with water immediately.
Keeps
so it
everything.
Yeah, it keeps the gaps closed up so it still holds water.
Now, this smells like Sunday morning in Mom's house. She used to make yeast rows.
Yep, you can smell the fresh yeast kicking in. A little bit of CO2 you come off. You get some of the sweet aromas coming off from the corn. But yeah, this is a yeast. This is one of the yeasts that we've developed ourselves, that we produce in Springfield, Kentucky. It's a distiller's yeast.
Now, is it your job to try different things as master distiller and kind of get the right recipe going, or is it a conglomeration of folks that get together?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to take the credit, but no, it's a conglomeration of a number of people. You know, everyone's got a different taste profile and different liking, so we do a triangular testing to see which really is a good match for everything, and that's how we usually select things, a team effort.
Now, impressive. That's impressive.
Well, we imported these from Scotland, and we installed them in a brew house in 2008. It's a batch operation. It's all handcrafted. Not only the stills are handcrafted, but also the whiskeys we produce out there is all handcrafted. There's no automation to this at all. It's everything is by touch and feel.
So everything is watched. I mean, it's not some major operation where machines are doing it for you.
Nope. There's no PLC. There's no computerization here. It's all manned manually. Everything's taken care of by one person per shift.
Now, there's some history in this building. It's fairly cool in here now, but it may have been cooler at one time.
Yeah, at one time. This was the engine house for the Lexington Ice Company.
Wow.
I think it started up about 1920s, and it functioned till like 1970s and changed hands and did a number of different things here. Then we bought this in 2010 and converted this into a visitor center.
This is where the tours start?
This is where all the tours start and stop right here for both the brewery and distillery.
Now, we only have one stop left to make.
Yeah, and that's...
We can't talk about that. It's top secret.
But we'll share it with you anyway.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, bartend. What's this right here?
This is Kentucky Kolsch. It's a true Kolsch style beer that was originally developed in Cologne, Germany. Kolsch is a special type of yeast. There's a little more wheat into it, a little more sweetness. It's a great summertime beer. It's great for sipping on after you've mowed the yard. I mean, it's very refreshing beer. Yeah, now we're going to try Kentucky Ale. This is our first beer that we came out with.
Now, for those who don't know a lot about brewing, me being one of those, color. What does color mean when it comes to beer? Why is that one this color? Why is this one?
It has a lot to do with the malts that you're using and how long you're cooking it through the kettle. Now, Kentucky Ale's a hybrid type English-Irish ale, and that's what we've developed it off of. It's a unique in that it's a hybrid of the Irish Red and the English Ale. So it's a marriage between both those styles of beer. And it really comes down to how our brewmaster, Ken Lee, will come up with this recipe and keep our guys making the same recipe over and over so it's consistent. Now, what I'm going to share with you now is Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. It is our Kentucky Ale. Same beer, but once it's done with fermentation, we age it for 6 weeks in fresh bourbon barrel casks. And it's got a very unique flavor that develops over that 6-week period. A little bit of sweetness, you pick up some vanilla flavors, a little bit of wood notes onto it. It's very nice, very refreshing, and sweet. Now, what I'll share with you now is our newest product, and that's Kentucky IPA. And those that don't know what IPA stands for, it's Indian Pale Ale.
Now, IPA, how did it get that name?
I tell you what, Tim, I will introduce you to our master brewer, Ken Lee, and he has the whole history on how the IPA came to be.
All right, Ken, let's talk about IPA. How in the world did it get that name?
IPA stands for Indian Pale Ale, and it's a historical beer style that came from back in the day when India was part of the British Empire. And hops have an antiseptic value to them. They have a preservative value. They're a natural preservative. And in order for beer to survive that long journey by ship from Britain to India, they would load it up with hops, lots of hops. And that became its own beer style later on then.
So then they would intentionally brew with that?
Right, and it's a very popular craft beer style even today.
So being that that has preservatives, and I should drink a lot of it, and I will retain my youth through that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the hop people are actually looking at using hops for maybe toothpaste additive.
Well, how about that? I'm going to put some in my teeth right now.
Good move.
Thank you very much for taking time out today and visiting with us. And if folks want to visit again,
we're open 7 days a week for tours, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 4 p.m.
How do they get a hold of you guys?
We're right here on the western part of Lexington, just a quarter mile from Rupp Arena. You could reach us at on the website or at KentuckyAle.com, or you can Google us at the Lexington Brewing Distilling Company.
Come see them.